Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Terrance Eskridge-Gibson. His book, What's So Great About Sex, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. My guest is Terrance Gibson. Terrance Eskridge-Gibson, actually. Hard to say. Terrance Eskridge-Gibson. Well, Terrance, welcome.
How you doing, Bernie? I appreciate you having me here.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You know, we've been trying to get you on for so long. We finally got you in the book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to be here.
That's so good. What's so great about sex? A coming-of-age romantic comedy. So tell us about this.
Well, what's so great about sex is one of my projects I've had. It was a love child of mine for many, many years. I came up with the idea many years ago. Actually, I was on a plane flying to L.A. For a job I was working on, and it came to me as epiphany with this story, and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. So I actually wrote it on the napkin of the plane. I wrote the whole plot down. And I kept that, and I said, okay, I want to work on the story. And it was a labor of love. I worked on that story for several years, many years, before I actually got it done. But what it is that this book is a coming-of-age romantic comedy. It's a satire.
Okay.
And what I looked at the socially constructed sexual attitudes and behaviors of men and women in America. I wanted to look at that through this book. One of the things about this story of this book is that it looks at several overarching themes. I look at toxic masculinity is one of the things that's talked about now, but toxic masculinity has been around for many centuries.
Okay.
This is nothing new.
Sure.
It's just a different term, or they coined it toxic masculinity over the last several years. But it's been called different things, but it never changes. But the book addresses that. It also addresses the integrity, perseverance, and the big thing is love. Love is important. Love between a man and a woman, or love between two people. It doesn't matter
Certainly.
who you are.
Sure.
But the whole thing is about love and understanding and care. And this book kind of talks about all that, but it does it in a satirical, sort of non-threatening sort of way. But it's kind of funny.
Okay, so you asked me, what did I think about the book when I first saw the cover? What do people actually get? What's the impression of the book?
Well, it depends
before
on
they read it.
So
you can't judge a book by its cover.
You can't judge a book by a cover. And let me tell you, people look at the cover, they look at the title, What's So Great About Sex, and they start thinking things that were more physical, a physical act of sex. This is not what this book is about.
Sure.
It's about attitudes and behaviors of men and women, with sexual attitudes of men and women, and socially constructed attitudes, and it just talks about it. And it kind of delves into it and kind of breaks it down into a way that people can actually look at themselves and say, well, am I like this, or do I do this sort of thing? And the thing about the whole premise of this book is that it's really seen through the eyes of the main character. The main protagonist is Wilbur Klutzheimer. And Wilbur is a nice guy. He's a wonderful guy, but he's what they call milquetoast, kind, hearted. He'll do anything for you, but he's been an outcast. People always ridiculed him and talked about him and laughed at him. You know, he was, as a child, he was just put to the side. People never even looked at him. Even his own father thought about Wilbur he was ashamed of him as a man because of, quote, men do certain things, they act a certain kind of way. And Wilbur didn't exemplify those sort of things. And he became sort of like a Walter Mitty type character. He became withdrawn in himself and started trying to deal with life, the negative things about life against him, because so many people were against him. The only person that gave him love was his mom, like most women do. Most mothers give you love. Yeah. But that's all he had. Love. And he wanted to be loved by people. He wanted to be respected and be cared for. But that wasn't happening for Wilbur.
Okay.
Wilbur grows up, actually he's a 29-year-old guy, and the story actually takes place, I put the story, the setting is in New York City during the height of the sexual revolution. Okay. And there was a whole purpose to put the book in the height of the sexual revolution to bring out what the story is really about, to talk about it. Wilbur's a 29-year-old guy who's still a virgin. He's never been with a woman or anything like that. But his whole thing is he respects women. He doesn't want to use women simply because of his sexual desires. Certainly. So Wilbur goes to work for the New York Times newspaper. He's a cub reporter. he meets a fellow reporter named Rick Ferroni, who's a womanizer. He's a notorious womanizer. And for some reason, Rick took Wilbur under his arm. And he's going to teach him the tricks of the trade, how to be able to get women, how to be able to date them, and in Rick's eyes, through consummation. That's the only way you can become a man, through consummation with a woman. Wilbur disagreed with that. Wilbur said, well, I'm not that way. I don't want to misuse women just because I have sexual desires. I don't believe in that sort of thing. So he wanted to hold on to his integrity. But he did go out with Rick and meet women and things like that. But nothing really happened from that. He was hoping that he can be able to meet somebody. Because here now, understand, Wilbur's still looking for love. He's still looking for a relationship with a woman. But so in the meantime, Wilbur starts having these erotic dreams at night. Started waking him up. They were so intense, he would wake up in the middle of the night and he just started jotting down what he was dreaming, his dreams. And the dreams kept coming like clockwork every night. And all of a sudden they stopped. But by the time they stopped, Wilbur had enough information to amass into a manuscript. And he said, well, what the heck? He said, what would happen if I just send this off to a publishing company? He had no idea. He sent his book off to a publishing company, and lo and behold, it becomes a bestseller. So now he has been given the modicum of this new term, the king of sensuality. Now here's a 29-year-old virgin. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
But it was all a part of his imagination. So he was putting so
this is part of the fun part of the book.
This is the fun part of the book. Yes. Sure. This is what the whole thing started jumping off. So
sexual comedy.
Yeah. So and what happens is that women start coming up. He's given rock star status, right? Sexual rock star status. Women start coming at him when he couldn't have women before. They were coming at him. So he was faced with this big dilemma, two dilemmas. Given to his sexual desires and risk being labeled a hoax and being laughed at because, they would find out the truth or hold on to his integrity.
Okay. I want to hold you right there. Okay, we'll take a short break. What's so good about sex?
What's so great about sex?
What's so great about sex, right? A coming-of-age romantic comedy. Terrance Eskridge-Gibson is our guest. And we'll come back and tell out why he wrote this book and what he hopes got from this book and maybe the relationship for you. Back at this from the New Life Evangelistic Center.
Bernie Hayes has been a blessing for so many years through the great broadcasting talents that God has given him. He's helped so many people to get a deeper and richer understanding of our community. Now, it's important that you tell your family and friends about the NLEC TV app because Bernie's continuing to bring his great guests on, and the way that they can get it now is go to NLEC TV on their app. You've experienced it, now share it with others. We need everyone tuning in to the Bernie Hayes Show because Bernie takes us behind the scenes and helps us to get a deeper understanding of issues that affect our community. His broadcasting has been such a gift from God for so many years. Now we need to share that gift. So tell your family, tell your friends, hey, have you watched the Bernie Hayes Show? Well, you need to. And not only do you get to see Bernie Hayes when you go on the NLEC TV app, but you get all kinds of inspirational programming. You get to learn about the needs in our community and the poor and the homeless. In addition to that, there's great classical movies there. There's music on NLEC Here's Help Radio Network. I mean, there's just so many things awaiting those that go to the NLEC TV app. So do a favor, give a gift to your family and friends and tell them about the app. To go to the App Store, bring up NLEC TV. And again, explore all the other things, the creation videos that are on there, the classical movies that are there, the inspirational radio programming, and of course, the 24 hours of TV, and the community programming, and all that and much more. So tell everyone you know about the NLEC TV app and let them know the Bernie Hayes Show is still coming through strong and heavy.
New Life Evangelistic Center wants you to join us for our events. We have a variety of different kinds of events that happen throughout the year here at New Life Evangelistic Center, and you're invited to all of them. We have special faith promise and fundraising dinners that we definitely want you to be a part of. Here you'll learn more about our staff, you'll learn more about all the different things that are going on at New Life, and you'll also be inspired by what God is doing by building His kingdom through this incredible ministry. You don't want to miss these dinners. We also have special fundraising events like a walkathon. And we have another event where we will spend a night out with the homeless. This is a very special event, and we don't want you to miss it. We also have unique events where we serve homeless men and women and equip them with the things that they need to survive. These events happen throughout the year, and especially during Christmas and Thanksgiving. Here we serve meals, we serve tracts, and we preach the gospel with our words and with our actions. We definitely want you to participate with that as we seek to interact with people who are experiencing homelessness. For all of these kinds of events, we need volunteers. So you can learn more about our events by going to nlecstl.org/events. Or you can call us at 314-421-3020 to learn about our closest event. I definitely recommend that you get involved in your community by partnering with us here at New Life Evangelistic Center.
Welcome back. My guest is Terrance Eskridge-Gibson, and he's the author of What's So Great About Sex. And Terrance, you were talking about the different chapters, about the book itself, an overview of the book. And I noticed that in the book, it says, to my mother, daughter, and Anastasia, and all those who recognize that love, the deepest emotional, mental, and spiritual connection, is the most precious gift two people can ever share.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. So continue to tell us about the story. Then I want to ask you about certain chapters.
Right. So Wilbur has these dreams about sex, so he started writing down, sends it out, becomes a bestseller book. Okay. Women start throwing themselves at him. He had this new modicum. He's a new king of sensuality. Like I say, he's still a virgin. He wants to hold on to his integrity, okay, which he does. But in the meantime, he meets and falls in love with a lady named Tony, okay? But what Wilbur finds out is that he has to tell her who he is. He has to explain to her what's going on or risk losing her. Yeah. So that's basically what the story is all about. Then it goes through all the different gyrations and different circumstances that he comes through. But it's filled with a whole lot of different situations.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a comedy satire.
Okay. Chapter 1, Success at Last. Then there's chapter 2. Then there's chapter 2, The Formidable Years.
That's his growing up. That's the coming of age when he's growing up, and how he, with his father, his mom, and his sisters, and how he grew up and how people treated him. That's what that's all about.
Now, why would people want to buy this book?
Well, I think if they're interested in laughing and understanding about sexual relationships between men and women, a lot of things, I think this whole thing about this whole toxic masculinity sort of thing, this whole macho-ism sort of thing, and how men think of women. And this novel kind of pulls the layers off. It's like an onion, kind of pull it off and let people see some of the things that the people don't talk about, but these are some of the tacit understandings that are kind of understood by men, like a lot of men. People don't actually adhere to that. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do.
Okay.
But this is something that we're going to talk about in this book.
Okay, so when they see the cover, What's So Great About Sex, they're thinking, so it's not full of lust.
No.
This is not what it's about.
No.
It's about life's lessons.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
It's full of life lessons. It's about love and respect and dignity and care.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't have anything gratuitous. Nothing that's, but it does have some language. I'm not going to say it's an adult novel. It's not for kids.
Sure, okay.
But
it says chapter 7, Tricks of the Trade. So
that's when Rick started telling Wilbur, I'm going to teach you how to get a woman.
Okay, this is wonderful. So, what inspired you to do this, Terrance?
Well,
I'm so used to calling you Terry.
Okay. I know that I was on a, like I said, I was traveling on a plane going to LA, and it just came to me. It was like an epiphany. Just actually, the whole thing came into me in my vision, in my mind, and I saw it. I mean, I saw the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Wow. Okay.
And that's what I jotted down on that napkin, and I kept that, and I started working on that for years. People think that you sit down and you write something and it's that quick. It doesn't work that way. Writing is a solitary sort of job.
Yeah. And paragraph by paragraph.
It's paragraph by line by line. For me, it's one word at a time.
Okay.
Because I'm the type of person I keep writing over and over and over and over until it's like polishing your shoe.
Yeah.
You keep buffing and buffing and buffing. I look at rewriting as buffing and buffing and buffing until you get it to a finished product that you can be able to put out there to somebody.
Okay.
But it's a long endeavor.
How can we get the book?
Committed to it.
How can we get it?
You can go to my webpage, which is TerranceEskridge-Gibson.com. TerranceEskridge-Gibson.com, and you can actually pull it up. Once you pull it up, you can see what the book is about. It tells you more about who I am. It tells you where you can actually buy the book. You can buy it at Amazon, in Barnes & Noble. Also, you can actually look at my, I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. You can also pull it up on my website as well.
Oh, this is Terrance Eskridge-Gibson.com. Okay. So all those platforms can be found under that.
On their website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Instagram, Facebook.
Everything.
X, which is Twitter.
Well, not Twitter. I'm not on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm just on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, that's good enough.
Just those two.
Good.
For right now, anyway.
So what's the price of the book?
The price of the book is $20.99. But you also, that's for paperback. You also can get it through the ebook in different places. Amazon may charge anyways between $3 and $4.
Sure.
For an ebook.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, tell us about Terrance Eskridge-Gibson.
Yeah. Well, I've been in management. Worked in nonprofit and profit organizations, corporate development, in corporate America for a number of years, in administration, in management, in HR, and public relations. Those are sort of jobs I've had. I even teach. I taught at universities.
What's your university?
St. Louis University.
St. Louis University.
I have a PhD in public policy analysis, so I taught graduate school and undergraduate students.
So you're Dr. Gibson.
I'm Dr. Gibson, yeah.
Okay.
But so I've done all these things, but I tell you, what really pulls me is writing. I've always been writing. I've been writing since I was a little kid. And I want to give you a little story, a little thing that happened. When I was 10 years old, I was in the 5th grade. And our teacher, they would give us new spelling words. Every week, we have about 20 spelling words, okay? We had to learn these words and increase our vocabulary. So they would tell all the kids, okay, we want you to take these spelling words, but we want you to put them in a sentence. Okay, to be able to, so we can know you understand what the words are. But what I did was I would take the spelling words, I would write a story. I would write a short story with all the spelling words. Right? So I make up these stories and I have all these spelling words in the story. So the teachers was enthralled with this. My teacher, he said, this was fantastic. So he would read my story to the class, right? We got another one from Mr. Gibson here. We got another story from him. So we would read my stories out, and I remember one time during our parent-teachers conference, he said, I want to meet your mom. So my mom came to parent-teachers conference with me, and he said, your son is going to be a writer one day. He's going to be a great author one day. He said, he's so creative and fantastic. I just love his stuff. My mother said, oh, really? She said, yeah. So we really appreciated that. But I was writing even before that time. It said something I've always done and kept doing it. So this project, like I said, was a labor of love. I got other projects I'm on in the works that I'm working on right now. Okay. So this working so much didn't allow me the opportunity to devote a whole lot of time to it. Because this is why this took so long to get it done. Sure. Because you have to write a little bit here, a little bit there, But because of me, I'm such a perfectionist. It has to be done a certain kind of way. It has to say a certain kind of way. And the thing about
you're proofreading it all each time.
Exactly.
Each word, each line.
It's a word. But see, the thing about writing for any kind of author, not only is it just some words on the paper, you have to be able to feel and understand what the character is trying to say. In other words, you become that character when you start reading the book. You can feel that person. You can see and smell and taste everything that person is going through. That's the important thing about writing a book, to me. For any kind of author, you have to be able to put that out. In this book, like I said, it's a romantic comedy. I think that you should have romance in any kind of story that you have in some way or another. I don't care if it's a thriller or horror. If you have some kind of, because dealing with people care about each other. So love is going to be an aspect of some kind of story. And in this story here, that's one of the main things in this story is about love. And like you read before, what the story was dedicated to, my mom and my Anastasia and my daughter. And for all those who believe in love,
Okay, we have about a minute left in this segment. Okay. How did you come up with the title?
The same day, on that plane ride. Everything came to me. I mean, Bernard, I tell you, it was like I was sitting there. It just, you know how you have a neon sign that flash in your mind?
You said it was an epiphany. Yeah.
It was epiphany. and that's why I know, even at this time when I thought it was important to get this book out now, we're going through a period of time in our country. There's so much vitriol, so much hate and anger. with this whole thing, even with this thing, it's just going off the rails with this whole thing of toxic masculinity and disrespecting people.
Yeah.
This story brings back integrity. Integrity to me has seemed like it's lost in the lexicon, American lexicon. It's not what it used to be. Mm-hmm. But this story brings back to what integrity, at least coming from this young man, what he felt it was.
Right.
And how it's important to him.
Okay, so Terrance Eskridge-Gibson, What's So Great About Sex, the book that is available right now on different platforms. And we're going to take a short break. But remind you that Reverend Larry Rice has been here at the New Life Evangelistic Center providing services for those in need for years and years and years, over half a century, 52 years. And we'll need your support and help. We thank you for all that you've done for us, and we hope that you'll do more. We'll be back after this with Terrance Eskridge-Gibson.
Since 1972, New Life Evangelistic Center has been on the front lines, reaching out, helping the hurting, the homeless, the fatherless, the widowed throughout mid-America. Yes, although it's had its roots in St. Louis, it now has expanded throughout mid-America into India and Africa, Haiti, and other places around the world. Oh, what a history New Life Evangelistic Center has. And we have many of these history books available to you, and they're right there on Amazon. And if we can help you get one of those, you contact us at 314-421-3020. But in addition to all that, we want to share a lot of that history with you right here as we take a look at how the work began and how the Lord has taken us throughout the years and the miracles that we have seen, all because of caring people like you. You're part of the history of the New Life Evangelistic Center. And we're believing that 2025 is the year that the center is going to become alive and seeing the Lord do exceedingly beyond we can even ask or think. We're on the verge of miracles. Yes, New Life Evangelistic Center has a rich history, but there's much more yet to come. And that's why I'm inviting you to familiarize yourself with the history of the past and be a part of the miracles of the present. Yes, let the Lord God Almighty work in you and through you. Let Him do exceedingly beyond what you can ask or think. He's got a purpose for you. And we want you to be able to live out that purpose as you get directly involved in the history of New Life Evangelistic Center and what the Lord is doing now.
Today we're going to talk about Langston Hughes, who was born February the 1st, 1902 in Joplin, Missouri. His parents divorced when he was a very young child and he moved to Mexico. He was raised by his grandmother until he was 13 when he moved to Lincoln, Illinois to live with his mother and her husband before the family eventually settled in Cleveland, Ohio. It was Lincoln that Hughes began writing poetry. After graduating from high school, he spent a year in Mexico, followed by a year in Columbia University in New York City. And during this time, he held odd jobs such as an assistant cook, lodger, and busboy. He also traveled to Africa and to Europe, working as a seaman. And in 1924, he moved to Washington, D.C., and wrote his first book of poetry, The Weary Blues, published in 1926. He finished his college education at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania 3 years later. And in 1930, his first novel, Not Without Laughter, was published and won the Harmon Gold Medal for Literature. Today's Black History Moment, provided by Langston Hughes.
God loves a cheerful giver. Even though things are really tough right now, you can make a difference in the lives of so many. New Life has been doing this work for 50 years, and we have seen God's gracious goodness through people like you who have participated in this work. There are so many people who are suffering. More people are becoming homeless for the first time with the rising costs of inflation and food and housing and so many other commodities. We need help. You can make a difference today in the lives of so many by giving your tax-deductible gift to P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. Or go to newlifeevangelisticcenter.org or call to get involved in this incredible work.
Welcome back. Terrance Eskridge-Gibson, my guest, the author of What's So Great About Sex. And like I say, you can't judge a book by its cover. Terrance, once again, the reasons for the book and how can we get the book?
Well, the reason for the book, I think it's right now, this country is going through so much negativity, so much angst and anger. Mm-hmm. This book is about love. You know, even though the main character has a lot of negative things happen to him, he never loses sight and never losing sight of who he is and what he wants to get out of himself and who he wants to meet in life. It's an important thing. That's what the whole thing about perseverance, and being integrity. I think integrity is a word that's kind of lost in American lexicon.
Okay.
People don't even seem to have, nowadays, integrity doesn't seem to matter. But this story talks about the integrity of this young man holding on to his beliefs and his values and not wanting to misuse anybody, simply because he has other ways of thinking, or, because he has sexual needs. This is not what the story is about. These sort of things are very important. The story is not meant to be some kind of preachy sort of story. It's not. It's a comedy. It's a satire. It's a lighthearted satire. But it's looking at, like I said, sexual attitudes of men and women that are socially constructed. When you come on this earth, when you're born, you don't have these kind of attitudes.
Precisely.
It's put to you. It's given to you. It's taught to you. So, this is talking about it in a different kind of perspective from this young man's point of view.
Okay. Do you see this becoming a stage play or a movie?
I see it as a movie. I'm gonna tell you, I swear to God, this is when I actually saw it. I saw it as a movie playing out in my head.
Okay.
I mean, and I was actually typing what I was seeing in my head. If that makes sense.
You're seeing the characters right there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't type faster, but I'm seeing it rolling.
Sure.
But I actually saw it as a movie coming up. But a movie that has impact that makes. I don't like things that are fluff. Because I see a lot of things out there that fluff doesn't mean anything. This story has substance. It's multi-layered, and it will make an impact on, I think, people.
How long did it take you to write it?
It took years.
Yeah, no, you said about 7 or 8 years at first.
More than that.
Yeah, okay.
Because here again, I take it and I put it down, take it and put it down, take it and put it down. But I never lost sight. And the whole thing about writing, when you write, you have to jump into character.
Yeah.
I don't care how many years pass by, you can still be able to get back into that character and move it to the next phase as though it's like the next day or so.
So are you satisfied with the product?
I'm very proud of this product. I think it's an excellent book.
How can we judge you?
Well,
by the book, right?
By the book.
Tell us how.
If you buy the book, you'll see. I don't think so far people have been looking at it, they've been reading, and they love the story.
Okay.
I think they are very surprised by the story, like we talked about, judging the book by the cover.
You
like
can't judge the book by its cover.
Yeah.
So tell us how to get the book.
You can go to my webpage, TerranceEskridge-Gibson.com. That's my
very
website.
Fast, very fast. That's too fast.
Okay. You can go to TerranceEskridge-Gibson-Gibson.com. That's my website. You can be able to, that's a one-stop shop. You can actually pull it up and look at what the book is about, who I am, how I actually came up with the story, just a brief synopsis. You can also look where to buy it. It tells you the places where to buy it. Also, it tells you where to look me up on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. So we can purchase the book actually by going to that site?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can just go to Barnes & Noble, or go to Amazon and just put in Terrance Eskridge-Gibson, and there it's going to pop up. It's going to populate.
Okay.
But if you want more information, just go to my website.
How did you feel when you finally finished the book?
Emotional.
Yeah.
Because it's an emotional story. It's although it's full of laugh, it's a heart-wrenching story. It's a heart-wrenching story.
Okay.
I think that people will come away with different type of feelings once they read the book. I think they'll carry it and they'll be more. I think they'll be more ingratiated into what the story is about, and they actually can live this person, the main character. They can actually feel his pain and his sorrow and what he had to go through. And many of us, this stuff. Anything in this book, I think it affects everybody. Okay. It relates to anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what your status in life, what your race or age or whatever. I think it's something in this book is going to be for anybody. When we talked about age group, it's an adult novel, so not for kids. But any adult, I think they can relate to this. It talks about bullying. It talks about a lot of different things in this book. Okay. It addresses.
So it will relate to the social norm.
Exactly.
Okay. Terrance Eskridge-Gibson.
Yes.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me here, Bernie Hayes.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
And I'm sure the book's going to be a wonderful seller, and I'm looking for the movie.
Well, I am too. First I got to sell this book.
For the movie. So thanks so very much.
Thanks a lot.
And thank each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Reverend Larry Rice has been here for more than 52 years. We're 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, 63114. Have a great day. Until next time, have a good day.